is good, people? Welcome back to another episode of Drive Time Crypto with me, Crypto Chris. Coming up in this episode, have the Luna Foundation Guard lost all their reserve of Bitcoin, or was it transferred elsewhere? And what does this mean for the people that lost out on the Luna fallout? That's all coming up in this episode. But just before I start, just to let you know, guys, I'm on the road to 300 subscribers. So please, guys, if you like this content on the channel, if I could ask you to subscribe to my channel, that would be really appreciated as it helps me grow. Nevertheless, onto the video. So, as it reads, where are the 3.5 billion Terra's Bitcoin reserve? Should this be a matter of concern? So if you wasn't aware, if you've been under a rock, what happened with Terra ecosystem, the Luna, and the UST fallout, I'm not going to go into it. Please Google search it. It's probably been covered to death by now and you're sick of hearing it. Nevertheless, it was reported that the Luna Foundation Guard, who had an obscene amount of Bitcoin, in fact they were second largest holding on the on record behind MicroStrategy, and it equated to $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. As they was trying to get the UST peg back to $1, they said that they had deployed these reserves to enable it. But as it reads, where are the $3.5 billion worth of Terra's Bitcoin reserve? Should this be a matter of concern? The Terra Foundation, after accumulating a huge number of Bitcoin worth billions, surprised the entire crypto space as it stood as the second largest BTC holder after MicroStrategy, as I've just explained. And basically they said, however, things got messed up as the Terra USD got depegged heavily, which destabilized the Luna price too, as speculated by many, the Luna Foundation Guard emptied all their reserves back to their stable coins, but failed miserably. And Do Kwon has been on Twitter to sort of say that there's going to be documentation, but to remain patient, but he has gone on the missing list. But is that the only thing that's gone on the missing list? Because when they said that they deployed their reserves, there's been a considerable amount of speculation online whether they have deployed it, where's it gone, did it get sold, has it gone over the counter? Anyway, there's been a lot of research. As they came out with that information, as they announced it, the Terra platform announced 750 million loan initially, 22,000 Bitcoin worth. The same amount was sent from a Bitcoin address to managed by the Luna Foundation Guard to a new address. Followed after a couple of hours, an additional 30,000 Bitcoin worth nearly 930 million was transferred from another Luna Foundation Guard address to the same address. So you've got 50,000 Bitcoin that's all gone to the one address, and then after that transfer, Luna Foundation Guard had to have remained with about 30,000 Bitcoin, which was sent to a Binance at a single shot. However, it's still unclear whether these Bitcoin were sold or just moved to another wallet. And therefore, if Bitcoin's not sold yet, that could cause turbulence to the Bitcoin market. Now, breaking news coming out of the Foundation Guard at the moment. Luna Foundation Guard reserves decimated by Terra crash. The Luna Foundation Guard revealed on Monday that the recent Terra crash and its measures to support UST has wiped out most of its reserves. And it states that its holdings are now around 260 million, which is unbelievable from a $4 billion reserve. And it has said that it will now deploy this remaining capital towards repaying UST holders with the smallest wallets to be compensated first. But the Luna Foundation Guard did not specify how this compensation will take place. So if you're not too sure on how that would work, I spotted this over the weekend on Twitter, and it's come from a Persian capital. So, and it goes on to say some interesting data on UST and Tether's Anchor protocol. There's 256,000 Anchor wallets. The top 1,000 Anchor wallets own 82% of all UST. The poorest wallets in this top 1,000 have 950,000 UST. So, and what he goes on to explain, I don't want to go through all the tweets there. You can read it yourself, but I'll just touch on a couple of them. And basically, what he's saying is that you could actually return, if you just focus on the smallest wallets on the ecosystem, you could return them back to 100% whole to where they were. So it says the second way is to prioritise smaller wallets, people who had a couple of thousand or more in UST deposited in Anchor. If Terra just focused on the poorest 99.6% of the wallets, then they could make this gigantic group 100% whole again. So yeah, they could potentially reimburse the majority of people who run a loss on UST. And it just carries on elaborating on it. You can go back to it, but potentially this could be what the Lunar Foundation Guard have suggested they could do, that they're going to focus on the smaller wallets because they understand that that is the largest amount on the ecosystem. So if you had UST on the Anchor protocol, you could potentially see your money returning. I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm not saying that that will happen. I'm not saying that you will get all of it back, because as you can see, the Lunar Foundation Guard have said that the reserves have been decimated, whereas when these tweets went out, I think he presumed that they still had billions of dollars. So I don't know. You might see all of it. You might see some of it. You might see none of it. It's very much breaking news at the moment. But it would be good to see if the little guy did get reimbursed for the losses through no fault of their own. But it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to deliver it, and it's going to be really interesting to see the sentiment on, because you saw where then Bitcoin got transferred to a different wallet, and a lot of people are saying this is very coordinated, and they're very dubious if they've actually got spent, and now they're coming out and saying that they've got no reserve left, and the leader of Terra has gone on the missing list. The Bitcoin's gone on the missing list. I have seen some stuff floating around that apparently he's filed for bankruptcy, etc. prior to this all happening. I'm not going to go into that, A, because the document was in a foreign language, B, I don't know how reputable it is, and C, I'm not about to start making videos on what it could be if I'm not sure. That just leads to false news and my channel being discredited. Nevertheless, this is what Luna's come out with. This is what they're saying, and potential you could see a bit of return on your UST, but somewhere $4 billion's gone. $4 billion has gone somewhere, and I think people are going to want to see the documentation. I think they're going to want to see the sales. I think there's going to be investigations into it. They best get a watertight ship on this, and just hope that they haven't just transferred it to addresses, and then this is their way of covering it up and making some goodwill gesture and returning them back to the good side instead of being on the bad side and just hiding money. Let me know what you think, guys. Like I said, it's breaking news. There's not that much on it at the moment. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know your thoughts. Drop me a comment in the section below. And guys, if you like this video and you like this content, I'm going to keep on trying to bring you this as much as possible. So if you can please subscribe to my channel, that would be really appreciated. Until the next one, thanks very much, guys.